What's up, guys? Today I'm going to talk about, you'll know the topic while I'm discussing it. It's about, more or less about being independent minded and using the word I more than we. Because I feel like nowadays, when you hear people talk, they usually tend to, side with the word we, or in Swahili, sisi, sisi, hawa. You need to go to specific who this person, not those people. Specify this individual, because I feel like when you use words like we, I, not I, we, it kind of makes it look like if it's a collective, idea, and maybe it's not. And I feel like people who use we so much are too dependent, and that sucks. You need to be independent minded. You need to use words like I think this and that, I believe, I suggest, not we. And the use of we is like, it's safety, and it's like you want to be safe with the point that you are making, so that you don't be attacked or something of that sort. But you see, I believe that if it's an idea that is yours, you need to own it. Okay, you don't need to hide behind a word and pretend that, by using that word, that is we, you feel like you'll be safe and you won't be attacked. Okay, you feel like you'll have a collection of individuals who will surround you and protect you from whatever condemnation that will come as a result of, the point that you made by being in a group. Okay, I believe that you need to stand out, you need to speak on, and then this other topic, you need to speak on your behalf. Always endeavor to speak on your behalf. Don't push people. There are guys who just like pushing people to speak on their behalf, to protest, and that makes them be too complacent, and it makes people to be lazy. Right now in Kenya, for instance, if there's something going on, there's something that is affecting us. For instance, I'm saying a lot, so bear with me. For instance, mismanagement of public funds, and it is discovered, or you notice that public funds are mismanaged. For instance, money that is supposed to be used to repair roads is being misused by MCAs or governors, whereby they're using that fund that was required to repair roads, they're using it to go benchmarking in a foreign country, and and it's written somewhere, or it's debated in their own ward, in their own town halls, and they decide that cash that was required to be used for repairing of roads, we are going to use it for our own, trip abroad for benchmarking. And when you see such a thing and it angers you, talk about it. Don't push the civil society and say, you guys going to do this and that first. No, you yourself, you can use whatever platform that you have and talk about that issue and condemn it. But this notion of always we have to rely on certain individuals to always speak on our behalf makes us look so weak, and in the end it leads to us being, we can easily be manipulated by these individuals who we always push. Because what if they decide to pass an agenda which is not coherent with what you wanted them to pass across? What else can you do? Because you're always pushing people to speak on your behalf. What if they go and talk about their own personal interests? Okay, what can you do? Because you're always quiet, you're always pushing the civil society. Okay, you need to speak on your own behalf. You need to express yourself, because if it's something that is affecting you, then you understand it better than anyone else. If you're in an organization and you have ideas, and it's a meeting where people are supposed to talk about ideas with regards to a particular project, and you keep quiet, then after the meeting, there are these individuals who during the meeting they don't say anything. Then after the meeting, they start talking in their own cocoons, about this idea. Oh, this idea was great. Those guys are talking about, stuff which doesn't make sense. It doesn't work. It's going to, make us have a lot of losses instead of profit. Such sentiments I hate, because at the end of the day, as an organization, we are a team. So if you have something that will make this organization grow, that will bring profit, that will raise our bottom line, then you need to lay it out. You need to say it. because at the end of the day we succeed together or we fail together. And individuals of that nature we need to avoid, because they're the ones who bring down organizations. Okay, I personally had when I was first employed, I didn't know how to express myself so much because I feared my boss, the sense that he had leverage over me, because I was still in school and it was more like an internship whereby he would write a report regarding my stay at his workplace. But later on, my boss told me to express myself, not to fear. Okay, and that is why I'm paying my dues by telling you that you need to do the same, because you never know. Whatever you might say, find a way of saying it. Not, and when you're finding a way of saying it, make sure whatever you are relaying is relayed with utmost respect. Respect rather. Don't relay it just by being arrogant. No, you have to learn how to talk. You have to learn how to express yourself. You have to learn how to relay information or to communicate in a way that is respectful. But the idea of you just keeping quiet and pushing people to speak on your behalf is just embarrassing. And then the other topic I'm going to talk about is this whole notion of motivation. Look, you want to tell me that you want to be motivated to live. Have you ever gone to public hospitals, to the ICU wing? Maybe you should go to public hospitals and just, walk around. Go and pretend that you're sick and you just walk around or just sit around the hospital. Like for instance, in Kenya, there's Kenyatta Hospital. Just sit around that place and look at individuals who are struggling to live. If you go to the ICU, you see someone who's on who is on life support machine, someone who's struggling to breathe. But here you are, you want to be motivated to live. Come on. I feel like too much motivation is for the weak, and it makes some people be complacent. Oh, I want to be motivated to even go to the gym. It's for your own good. If it's for your own good, you don't need motivation for that. You just need to sit and think about your life, and when you do that, you'll make the right choices. You don't need someone else to come and tell you to do what is essential to your life. Okay, sometimes we trip. I agree, we trip, but I insist that motivation is for the weak, for those who have no hope. But if you have hope, if you are alive, if you are active, you are your motivator. Yeah, you are your motivator. You are your motivator. You don't need anyone else to come and tell you to do A, B, C, D. Soon we'll have, if this persists, we'll have individuals who require motivation to even poop. Okay, people even forget their purpose in life. The purpose, they'll even forget the function of their body, what they're supposed to do to their bodies. You need motivation to even take a bath. Come on. Too much motivation makes people be complacent. And I repeat, always endeavor to speak on your behalf. Use the word I. I think this and that. I think, not we. When you use we, according to me, it looks like if you're just afraid and you don't want to be attacked. You know what? If it's an idea, if whoever wants to attack you, let them attack you, but let them, give alternatives. If they're just attacking you, ignore it. Okay, I prefer someone who, when they attack me because of my idea, they give me their own version. But don't just attack and then that's it. So the good thing is, all this requires practice, step by step. Okay, it's a learning process, and more so if you're over 18. Please, you just need to step up. Step up. You're an adult. You can sign an affidavit. Okay, you're not a kid. You're not going to go to juvie anymore. So your choices have consequences, and learn to be independent. It will be beneficial in the near future. In the future, if you are you're just past 18. Okay, once you're age 40 or 50 and you have constantly practiced to be independent, it will be beneficial there. Okay, one time you'll be a parent. For those who want to be parent, that is. Now try to imagine if you're not independent and your kid notices that kid will also, chances are, will be the same as you are, because the apple does not fall far away from the tree, and the kid can only be who they are with the tools that are available. If the tools that are available, that is the environment that is around him, are tools of weakness, then that kid will be weak. But if the tools that are around him are tools that ensure that the kid is independent, the kid is less dependent, then that kid will be as per the tools that are around him, as per the environment. So that's why I insist, it's good to be independent minded. It's good to be your own motivator. Try to be that. Okay, don't depend on others. Don't depend on civil society to always speak on your behalf. Use whatever platform that is available. Facebook Live, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter. Tweet. Piss them off by Twitter. Let them block you. They block you, you just create another account. But this notion of always using the civil society to speak on your behalf is wrong, because you're now, sooner or later, you'll be creating demigods. Okay, someone will feel like you need me more than I need you. We don't need each other. You need us more. And the problem with that is that you give someone absolute power. And as the saying goes, absolute power, you figure it out. I'm not going to finish that line for you. But it's absolute power corrupts absolutely. Okay? Absolute power corrupts absolutely. So if you depend on someone to speak on your behalf all the time, you're just giving this person too much power, and he might misuse it. And what if that person won't be there? What will you do? Will you die? If you're always dependent on someone else, if they die, what happens? Do you die as well? Okay? You need to be your own motivator. You don't need to be motivated to do certain basic things. I prefer someone who is grieving to need motivation, because no one teaches you to handle death. No one teaches you to handle such events. They're tragic. Death is the most, like personally, I put death up here. Up here is the most tragedy, there's a word I'm looking for. Let's just say that death is full of tragedy, and I don't like it. But whoever is grieving, I know I'm speaking gibberish, whoever is grieving, they need more motivation than whoever is not. Some things are just mental, and you just need to take some time and think about your life, right? Use whatever means necessary to motivate yourself, and always use the word I, A, B, C, D. I'm losing my voice, but it's just that I had this idea and I had to lay it out. Be independent minded. Don't always be dependent on other people. Not all the time. There are times where you can, because man is not an island. But when you do, try and show how independent you are. Okay? If you're depending on someone, don't look like if you're helpless, because they might take advantage of you. Treat it like if you're trying to share ideas, and then you want them to assist you, and then find a way of framing it to a point where that person also feels like if you guys are assisting each other. But if you're seeking someone's help and then you're already on your knees, you're at a point of disadvantage. But if you're holding your ground and you're asking that question for assistance, you lay out your input, okay? And then you if that person can assist you, you benefit from it. But don't constantly be dependent on other people, and always speak on your behalf. Talk. You have a voice. Even guys who can't speak, they use sign language. But this idea of always depending on people to speak on your behalf, depending on people to do ABCD, that stuff I leave it to kids. Guys who are in high school, who are under 18, and they're not confident, they're building their confidence. That I leave it to them. But if you're past 18, you need to speak out. If you want, if you are in an organization and you want early salary, speak about, talk about it. Don't, look for a group of people and you camouflage inside that group and you go as a unit. No, you need to talk about your own personal issues. What if they don't do that? What do you do? And if it's something that is affecting you, that you require that early salary, what do you do? So when you learn to speak on your behalf, eventually you'll become independent. I repeat, if you learn to speak on your behalf and to always express yourself and to put you first in whatever issues that are affecting you, you'll be independent minded. And it's not like if it's wrong to watch motivational videos. It's not wrong. To me it's entertaining. But I felt like there's nothing that I'm going to watch there which I haven't watched before. Yeah, that's the whole gist of this video. There's nothing that you'll watch in that motivational video which you haven't had before. There's nothing you read in the Bible which you have never read, but unless you have never read the Bible and the whole thing looks new to you. that you have leeway. But if you have constantly been raised in the church, if you're constantly going to church, whatever you read, you have to manifest it in your life. But if you're constantly reading it and then you're not manifesting it, then it's just a waste. It's just a waste. Okay? If you're constantly watching those motivational videos and you're not implementing whatever you're being told, then it's just a waste. That's why I prefer you watch it, yes. But then again, you don't depend on it all the time. You don't need it all the time. You need to just sit down and look at your life. I remember when I was in campus, not in campus, in high school, our teacher, this is my last slide, our teacher used to tell us before exam, think about your life. Think about where you're from. Think about where you sleep. Think about your family. If you're an orphan, think about your parents who are dead. Okay, think about them. If you are the firstborn, think about your siblings. Okay, if you have siblings, think about your life before you do that paper. I prefer when I see people crying while they're doing an exam. It sounds weird, but he told us that. I prefer when you do that exam, you cry because you're thinking about your life and the fact that this exam, it was our final, it was like in Kenya we have this national exam that is yearly, around October for guys who are in the 4th form and November for guys who are in class 8, whereby the exam is just the same nationwide. So before that paper, he told us to think about our lives, and he said that if you think about your life, you'll be more vigilant and you'll be walk. Even though he didn't say walk, but that's what he insinuated. So that you'll be motivated to do a lot because you look at the things that have gone through to be where you are, and you'll think about your future. And sometimes when you're hurt, you tend to when you're hurt, I feel like when you have a tragic life and you want to change it, thinking about it can motivate you. Pain sometimes motivates you. So he told us that so that when you are doing that exam, you'll want to strive to be the best because of what you have gone through and because of what you want your life to be like. And that's about it. So be independent minded. If you are in an organization, if you're at work, always speak on your behalf, learn to express yourself. If it's a new thing, practice day by day and you will be good. Nothing is learned within a day unless you're too sharp. But if not, a new day brings new challenges. Let that be a challenge. Speak on your behalf. Always use the word I first. Don't use we too much because it looks like if you're weak. And that's it. So I think this is my 11th video, and I'm grateful to God because I'm relaying my ideas out. Maybe one time I'll be damn folded and I'll have my kids and I'll watch such videos to motivate me. And that's about it. Peace, love, and stay woke.